Made man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. So word on the curb is that Amir Khan maybe is looking to reconsider his position as the mandatory challenger to the winner of the mandatory challenger to the WBC championship. And he was supposed to be getting the winner of a Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman fight. And prior to that, because he's nursing an injury that he suffered in his last fight against Canelo Alvarez. And, prior to that, they supposedly were in talks to make the Danny Garcia and Amir Khan fight, but he chose to go up to Canelo instead. And now Danny Garcia is pivoting for a unification match. And that can put the fight between Danny Garcia and Amir Khan, if he was looking for a rematch, if Danny Garcia defeats Keith Thurman and becomes a unified champion, he ain't going to be forced to fight no Amir Khan. I mean, he can vacate the WBC and just hold on to the WBA. It's just going to be a whole litany of options then. But the thing is, the WBC has responded and said that, hey, they will order a fight between Timothy Bradley and Errol Spence, with Errol Spence trying to wait it out and see what Kell Brook is going to do, because they thinking Kell Brook and Khan going to make the fight, man. And it's just no one knows. It's just a bag of tricks right now. I think the WBC made an improbable fight, something that ain't even realistic. And this has been killing me about the WBC. They play a lot of smoke and mirrors games, especially at the welterweight division, man. Like they had Khan as their number one mandatory fighter for a few years now, since Mayweather had that title, man. So this ain't nothing new under the sun. I mean, Khan now is to the point where the Kell Brook fight has been built up for numerous years, and it's almost at a point where it has to almost bear fruition, because Kell Brook is facing a tough fight in his mandatory with Errol Spence. It's a fight I want to see. I want to see Kell Brook push to the limit. But if Kell Brook loses that fight, what happens to that bag of money, basically, between him and Amir Khan? And that's something that's been built up for years, man. I mean, you got to understand the importance of that fight to the UK fans, to the boxing fans in general, who have just been watching the shit between Khan and Kell Brook for all these years, and just say, get it a fucking over with, It's just that it's fucked up. They chose the timing that they did, man, when they have some real good fights in front of them. Kell Brook can fight Errol Spence, and Amir Khan can maybe get the winner of Thurman and Garcia, and it's like, damn, at a time right now where you really got some big fights in front of you, why would y'all look to try to pivot towards each other now? It's like y'all trying to both save each other, man. And I'm a Kell Brook fan, but that's what it seems like to me. But the WBC know what the hell they did, man. They made an improbable fight. I don't see Timothy Bradley, whom already had made comments prior to this even being announced about this fight, saying that he ain't interested at all, man. Timothy Bradley is a dude who's been through wars. He's felt like he's already paid his dues and stripes. He knows how high he's ranked amongst the WBO, the title he just lost to Manny Pacquiao. I mean, the title, he vacated to fight Manny Pacquiao, and then this provided Jesse Vargas with an opportunity to fight for that title. But he know how highly he's ranked amongst that. He said he don't give a damn which title he fights for. A belt is a belt. He doesn't want a bunch of belts. He doesn't want to be a unified champion. This is Timothy Bradley, man. So I don't think the WBC did themselves any favors by making or ordering a fight between him and Errol Spence, man. It's just like crazy how, people are getting, like, what's pussy is starting to get normalized now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, I understand the business side of things in boxing. I get it better than anybody else. But, yo, this shit is crazy to me, man. Like, dog, all of these fighters, none of these dudes are fighting each other, man. Like, everybody's ducking Errol Spence. They treating Errol Spence as if he's like poison or something, man. Like, this kid is definitely must have something special about him, man. It's like nobody wants, when it comes down to Errol Spence or any of the fighters at welterweight, they pivot. They fucking pivot, man. They pivot, they pause, they stumble, they spin. They never a straight up answer, when it comes to Errol Spence. It's like, though, he like the boogeyman for real. And it's crazy to me. And it's like it's normalized now, Even like with Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, man. To be quite honest with you, and people may say I'm crazy for this, but I think, though Danny Garcia is doing the right thing by facing Keith Thurman, if he was to say, for example, had to face Errol Spence, I would call that the more dangerous fight. Like in the Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman fight, I give maybe a slight edge right now to Danny. Who knows, But it's still kind of real close race, But if he was to step in there with Spence, I think I'm rocking with Spence. You know, it's more of a dangerous fight for Danny Garcia and for Keith Thurman and for every fighter at welterweight, and they know it. They need to see cracks in this kid's game, and he has shown absolutely none. And he has these dudes spooked, man. They all pause when it comes to Errol Spence, man. And, you know, I love Timothy Bradley, man, but it's still a pussy reaction. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to call it like I said. It's a pussy reaction. If they're giving you an opportunity to make a big splash at the welterweight division, which the WBC is doing to Timothy Bradley. They're saying, look, bruh, we're upping you, man. We're giving you an opportunity. If you beat this kid, you'll be next in line for Danny Garcia or whoever, or Keith Thurman or whoever has that WBC strap. You know what I mean? So it's a good opportunity for Timothy Bradley. The politics are tough in the situation, given Errol Spence is managed by Al Heyman. He fights for the PBC model. It's a tough thing politics-wise, but fuck, we just got, you know, what's going on here. Either Bob Arum and Al Heyman is working together or they ain't, man. We just got John Molina and, you know, we just got the John Molina Terrence Crawford fight. So that was the evidence that these two dudes are working with each other, man. So if that is happening, like I said in the video before, I want to see it done on a more elite level. You know what I mean? I won't want to see their B-level fighters fighting each other. I want to see them putting their elites against each other. So in this particular case, I'm sure Al Heyman would make the fight with the quickness. I'm thinking Bob Arum would be the hesitant one. And of course, Timothy Bradley and his wife would definitely be the most hesitant ones, man. Errol Spence is a dynamic fighter, man. And the more I see how people acting, even in Kell Brook's case, where you know, he's trying to get the biggest fight he can kind of get because he just don't know what may happen if he get in there with Errol Spence. Like, all of those fights will definitely be bye-bye for Kell Brook if he loses to Errol Spence, man, in devastating fashion, which is a high probability given his injuries and given the type of fight that he just came off in his last fight, man. So, I mean, it's kind of obvious to me, seeing the reactions of the fighters at welterweight, how special of a fighter that Errol Spence really, really is, man. The proof is in the fucking action, and everybody is hesitant when it comes to this dude, even Kell Brook, man. Though Kell Brook, I can see him maybe stepping into that ring, given the shame that will come if he doesn't, if he chooses to fight, especially if he goes the Liam Smith route that's being rumored, that Liam Smith is being offered by Frank Warren and them at 154. If he takes that route, it's going to not look good for Kell Brook. I just don't know, man. This shit is crazy. I mean, Earl the True Spence, man. Goddamn. Heads off to him, man, and the things that he's doing in the sport, because he got everybody just like, yo, I'll fight him. Oh, Errol Spence? Hold on, we got to think about that. And that's exactly the fucking reaction, man. So the WBC did themselves, once again, no favors. We're trying to order this fight between Bradley and Spence. Spence is more focused. His eyes is on the prize of the IBF, in which he just defeated Chris Algieri and Leonard Bundu to pursue this title. All of that would be in vain, though this would be a good opportunity for Errol Spence, because I believe if Timothy Bradley doesn't want to take this fight, I'm sure the WBC may look to line Errol Spence up with someone else, and he may still have a good opportunity there, and he'll become just like Andre, you know what I mean? Being ranked at mandatory at different sanctioning bodies, you know what I mean? And that'll be even better for Errol Spence. So it provides another road for Errol Spence, a much needed road, given the stalling and the hesitance that he's getting at the IBF. And not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, that the IBF will take a unification match over the mandatory. So if that's the case, man, say, for example, if Kell Brook looks to do a unification match with, say, a Manny Pacquiao, who's had the WBO. So, you know, that fight would take precedence over the Spence fight. Maybe they'll get Spence out of the way and then, you know, make Spence go the WBC route. Who knows? You know what I mean? There's options, man. And in boxing, man, you just don't fucking know. But all I do know is the reactions to Errol Spence is becoming quite alarming, man. I don't know about y'all, but it's coming quite alarming. Real shit. So, to the next video, Main Man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man, Made Man Boxing Forum. Google Plus, main man. Made man, Timothy Bradley, man, used to be such a hardcore warrior, man. Real talk, man. Now he is just a businessman, like most other fighters that get to this point in their careers. He's put a lot of his wars behind him, and he's looking to, getting nothing but big name title fights and big name, big bag money fights. So if that ain't the possibility, if it's a high risk, low reward fight, count Timothy Bradley out. Bullshit. To the next video. Peace out.